All right there. So this is part two of my lamb chop dinner. What I've done was I have removed the lamb chops, set them to a plate, and while this is still going, I've got probably, I'm going to say, that's enough to work with. Uh, you want because it really a lot depends upon how absorbent this flour is. This is a self-rising, so I will start with about half of what's in here. And then uh, you basically just want to kind of scramble. You know, hold on. Terrible. I had my spoon across the kitchen that I'm going to use for this. Um, the little wooden spoon. Let's kind of stir it. The whole idea is to get this. Now there are herbs in here that's going to give texture. Uh, but I can see that there's still some buttery oil in the bottom of this pan, and that I actually can use a little bit more. So this is probably approximated half a cup. You know what I mean? In the bottom of that, at the bottom of that bowl. Uh, but anyway, so it's going to make a really, really good roux. And then what I'm going to do is stir it. The oil's already got a good browning, the oil and butter blend. Uh, in a, probably about 5 minutes or so, this would be a good darkness. I want to get a good darkness because whenever I add the broth, it's going to dilute the color of this roux. And so as dark as it is in this pan, is actually going to be diluted. So you want to get maybe almost to a chocolate color. They call it a chocolate roux in some parts of Louisiana. So, and you can use a whisk or a fork or something like that. I just happen to be using this spoon. So let me prop it right there. Ha, cool. That's great. So now I will confess that what I did was accidentally stop the other video. It just happened that I stopped it at a point that I was able to continue with the part two. Uh, you know, uh, so that's great. Uh, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. This is Swanson beef broth. It's got like 50% less sodium, and but let me talk about this. The reason why we want to make sure that this roux is thoroughly cooked. See, as it's getting a little bit browner underneath. Because what the flour needs to cook. If you went straight away to this without getting this good browning in this roux, because it's a flour instead of a cornstarch in particular, when you go to taste it, it's going to taste floury. It's not going to taste like a gravy. Do you know what I mean? So you want to get this darker. Now, also, this is when it does turn, it's going to turn very, very quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and you say I switch from my spoon to a whisking fork for smoothness, a serving fork. It's just fine. Or you can use a metal whisk. I prefer using a fork. You really, really get in here. So let it sit every few minutes and give it a good whisk. This is getting to the point that we're going to have to watch it because it will go from brown to burnt in a heartbeat. And if you're not watching it, it will happen every time. The secret to a good gravy, and this can even go a little lower actually. When it starts to bubble like that, I can maybe kind of monitor the heat so that it doesn't start splattering. But the secret to a good gravy is a good roux, and the secret to that is a little bit of patience. Okay, so this is the final stir of this roux before I put in the fluid, and you can see, hopefully, a difference in color already. And so by the time I come through, and so by now this flour that's in here, the flour that's in here is cooked, essentially fried in the oils, really. And that's kind of what gives it its chocolatey color. So by the time I come back over with the fluids, this will be ready to drop. And I'll probably do that off camera because if I take the time to do it, I may miss the mark. And you don't want to do that. You have a very short window of time when it gets to this chocolatey color, milk chocolate, and then it might get a little darker. And then you add your water, but you don't want to burn this. If you burn it, you'll never get the flavor out. Burnt roux is it's as rough as undercooked roux that tastes like flour. And then here what I've done is I have added probably, oh, I want to say maybe an eighth of a cup of the stock, and then the rest of the fluid is water. And then you see, because I used a self-rising flour, that it's getting thick. So what I will do is I will continue to add a little bit. I think I'll add maybe just a little bit more water. Hold on. Slow stirs as everything incorporates. If you want to, at this point, you could, if you want to, you can put the lamb chops back into the sauce. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm actually going to serve the lamb chops with the sauce ladle over. But this is really for the this is really for the potatoes. So, this is very rustic gravy, and it's about ready to take off the heat now. And yeah, you want to really, really be patient. I could have actually gotten a little bit darker with this, but there's a lot of elements in here. And, as it's, you just want to go slow with this. You can use this roux, by the way. It's a very simple, it's one of the basic sauces. It's actually not in itself the roux, which is butter and flour. And then you can add the fluids and stuff like that. But if it's just the water, and then no seasonings or anything like that, and that's one of the creations. You would use that, or you could use a light roux. This is kind of maybe kind of a medium of the road.